Hey everybody, today we're going to do 1-point perspective color wheels. Let's take a look at this. So our canvas here is just cardstock and it's in the round. You're tracing a circle, you'll cut that out. What makes this a 1-point perspective is we are seeing it from a certain angle where all the buildings or all the elements that are in it are all pointing towards that 1 point. So imagine yourself as an ant on the ground and you are looking skyward. This is what it might look surrounding you. And if you look here, you'll see churches, very modern buildings, some buildings that are a little bit more old-fashioned. If you look over here, you'll see mountains and snow-capped mountains in the background, and of course the sky at night. I'm trying to see if this one has trees on it. I don't think there are any trees, but at any rate, this is a color wheel and it is showing you the 12 colors that are on the color wheel. You will see a color wheel posted on your classroom page, as well as in the classroom we'll have color wheels there so that you make sure that you're getting the 3 primary colors, red, blue, and yellow, the 3 tertiary colors, green, orange, and purple, and then all the other mixture of colors, red, orange, blue, violet, yellow, green. It goes on and on and on. So let's learn how to do this. All right, here is the diagram that I'm showing you. Let's take a look at what supplies that we need. We need a piece of paper. If you're at home doing this virtually, any kind of paper you can find, but it's preferred that you have white computer paper. The best thing would be your sketch pad paper, which is mixed media, or cardstock. Please no colored paper because we're going to be painting and mixing colors on here. I need to see those colors very clearly. The next thing that you're going to need is a pencil, a ruler, but if you don't have a ruler, you can just take another piece of paper and fold it over to create a straight edge. Eventually, you're going to need a Sharpie. A black Sharpie and the medium-sized Sharpie would be best. If you're using computer paper, then a skinny Sharpie would be better. And if you're at home and you don't have any Sharpies or black pens or markers or whatever, actually regular markers won't work because they'll bleed with the paint, then just get a ballpoint pen. Black would be the best, but at this point, just use whatever you have if you're at home and you don't have those supplies. It's also good to have an eraser on your pen or your pencil, and eventually you'll need scissors because we're going to cut this out, but you don't have to cut it out until you finish the whole thing. All right, the other thing that you're going to need is a round shape. All righty, I got a bowl that I have here in my house. It depends upon the size of the page that you have. If you have a 7 by 10 inch, then you might need to find like a salad plate size. Look for the bowls in your house. Look for round things in your house. And hold it up to the page and see if it's going to give you as big of a circle as you can make it. So if you all look here, you see I have a little bit on this edge hanging over and a little bit there. That's okay. So I'm going to place my plate right here, and then I'm going to trace the circle. All right. Now, we talk about drawing it light to get it right all the time, and that is certainly important with this project as well. But you don't have to worry about the circle being light to get it right. Everything else you do. The next thing we need to do is to select a point that our perspective is going to be coming from. Now, most of us will choose a center point. Alrighty, you can just draw one. You can look at the circle and tell, that's my center. I'm going to start there. But some of you might even want to offset it a little bit, and it will change the perspective even more. This perspective means the angle of which we see something. Alrighty, we will also learn how to do 2-angle or 2-point perspectives next year if you haven't already done it. But we're just going to start with one for now. So here's my center point. I'm going to take my fake ruler, my piece of paper here, and because I know that I need to draw 12 different lines to represent the 12 different colors on the color wheel, what I want to keep in mind, is that these do not have to be exact sizes like on a clock. So I'm just going to start drawing lines, and they must go through that center point from edge to edge. And you might want to pick a theme, like maybe your color wheel, your perspective is going to be buildings and things you would see on a farm. Or maybe you love Disney World and you want yours to reflect the stuff that you love at Disney World. As I said, you can make this your own hometown, or you can make it be famous places, famous buildings throughout the world. However you want to do it. And also, they don't have to be the size of, the line going all the way through the circle. First of all, let's count and see how many we have here. So I'm going to start from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need 2 more. So what I think I might do, I do want one building to be really, really fat. I think I might do one here. And remember what I said, you don't have to make it, come through the line all the way over here. You can do one that's separate. So I'm just going to put my pencil here and do one there. Notice how he does not have a reciprocating one on that side. He's really skinny. And then I'm going to make another one over here that's really, really skinny. He's in the center point. I'm bringing him down to here. All right, there are my 12 sections. All right. So the next thing I want to do is with my pencil and my ruler. Now I'm going to move my ruler this way. I'm going to start drawing buildings. And I think that the first one I'm going to draw here would be Immaculate Conception Church, downtown Fort Smith. I have drawn that building several times before, so I do know its features. So I'm going to do this quickly and lightly. I know it has to have a bottom, which I'm going to draw like this. Now I know the rest of it is going to, it's going to fill up to here, but I need a starting point where I know it's always going to be a straight line. And from this point on, I will do all my windows and everything else that needs a horizontal line from this point here. All of my vertical lines are going to come from the center point. So the first thing you can do is, if you know what your building looks like, you can just go ahead and do a light sketch of what it's like. So I know that Immaculate Conception has 2 towers. One is taller than the other. There's a rose window. I think there are little parapets here. And they have little windows like this. Like this. Okay, I'm going to start there. Now, I'm going to put my point here, right here on the middle. And I'm going to bring it here to where I drew my, the roof line coming down to the center section. And I'm going to make that center section there. Alrighty, I just drew that line down there. And now I'm going to draw this one down here. And that will give me the correct angle to draw this to the perspective of this one dot here. Alrighty, so now I want to draw my roof line here. I want to make sure that that's straight. So I'm going to take, I drew a little point there. I'm going to draw it there with that. And so now that I know that this is the line I want for the roof line here, I'm going to draw a better circle and I'm going to raise it up here. I know I'm going to come back and erase this part. And I know that they have a big, huge front door that goes like this, and then 2 that go like that. All right, what I want you to know is normally I would bring this all the way down here to this because we don't want to chop it off. But what I see does have is stairs all the way down. So I'm leaving room for that right here. I'm going to put my point right here. And I'm going to extend my line here for the steps because the steps are only right here. And I'm going to butt this up here to that horizontal line so I know that all of these are straight. Also, if this is from an ant's eye view, then anything that is closest to the ground is going to be bigger. And as it works its way up, it becomes smaller. So these things that you draw in the middle that aren't parallel and perpendicular, you're just going to have to freehand that. So I'm going to draw that there. I'm going to draw that there. I do need a center point though. So I need to bring this right here, here. This is the center of the window. I want that to be the center of the door. Alrighty. So now I can kind of line this up a little bit better. And I'll draw this here and this there. All right, and the same for the windows. Since I know that these 2 points now are for this part of the window, I'm going to bring this up here, straighten out my edge for this window. And it's Gothic shaped windows. This is the line that I will use for that little subdivider. And there's one more Gothic shaped window right here. And then this comes to a point. I know it's a bell tower right there. So I'm going to put a point there, and then I'm going to connect those 2 dots. Now this may not look exactly like I see. I'm just going from memory. All right, there's my point there. So you can see everything is lined up going to that center point. And I'm going to do the same right here. I did tell you all that the other tower is shorter than this one. I don't know if you all knew that or not. And the reason is because the man that built this, and it was after the Civil War, was a Yankee. And he wanted these Southerners in Arkansas to remember who won the war. So he built the northern tower taller. How about that? I'm going to erase those lines down there. There's icy. And I might, make some divisions here for the window. Okay, and I know it has a roof line here, so I want to give it extra roof line. I'm going to follow that right there. Follow this line right here. Okay, there's one building. Let's say right here, I would like to put a tree. Alrighty? It doesn't have to be what I actually see in Fort Smith. It's my skyline. I do whatever I want to do. So I know it has to fit within here. Alrighty? And I know that anything that's further away towards the center point of the, the one point for our perspective is going to be centered. So right here, I am drawing what will be the trunk of this tree. I don't want it to be terribly fat, so I'm going to bring one up here and one right here. Alrighty. And then I will just kind of outline how I want my tree to be. And of course, if this is kind of like a fir tree or a Christmas tree, it's going to get bigger at the bottom. All right, and I'm going to flounce it out like that. I know that this won't appear on there. I just needed that as a guideline, and that's there for that.